state, or have a department that every police officer, everybody, whoever has a number to, where they can check across state lines.
Yeah.
That right there, that I think that was very mind-blowing for me, that they just he could, there was nothing he could do. I mean, he could have, but would he be stepping on toes? Would he be crossing the line? Would he be reprimanded for that?
Combo, I don't know if there is a federal CPS case.
Steph, I just want to come up because I can
Yes.
actually, I have another case that I know that you might be interested in.
Okay.
I can get you actually in touch with the mother directly involved in this case. So her daughter's been locked up for 16 years in prison for something that was not proven to even be her.
Okay.
It was in Ohio, and it was a murder of 3 people. And she has lots of information on this case. I'm talking document on top of document. I've saw some of it. So basically what happened is these people got murdered in the middle of the night in December, but they took a 6-year-old as a witness, and that's how they convicted her. Was a 6-year-old statement. A 6-year-old child gave too many details, such as she was wearing 14 knives around her waist. She was wearing a hoodie. She had 4 pew-pews. She ran in the house and murdered them and ran back out. But he had that much time to collect details, but he ran down the hill to the neighbors to call the police. And she's still sitting in prison for it, but she was never, listen to this, the pew-pew, yes, tan lines, the pew-pew never had her DNA on it. It was never tested. Never
Interesting.
tested. And I have read all 5 of the police reports, and each one of them say something different.
Wow.
What's her name?
Kara Garvin.
Somebody just put that in the chat.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
Look up Kara Garvin. I've been talking to her mom, Audrey, who is trying to get a attorney to reopen this case and look at it, because she was actually on the TV show, Reasonable Without Doubt, and they basically told her to give up on getting her daughter released. They never tried to look at any of the circumstances. The police reports, I have them. I can send them to you.
Morning.
The police reports.
Yes, of course. Yes.
They state multiple different things. One officer says the little boy was at this position at this time. The other officer says he was in another place. So
Wow.
how did he happen to see? Basically, what they did is took the little boy to the station, put her photo up there on a lineup, and he picked her out. But mom knew her, and mom was coaching him to pay attention to the lady's hair.
But how could, like, my number one question would be, how could you, in the middle of the night, see who exactly it was and all those details? Like, your eyes still have to adjust.
Correct. And he was young. The aunt was actually holding on to him at the time he was pew-pewed. But the thing is, Paul, the guy that is involved, that was a buyer from this family, if you get what I'm saying,
Okay.
regular buyer, was with Kara that night. Kara was home in the bed and was caught on footage at 9:00 at Subway. The pew-pewing happened at 6 something. She was at a Subway with blonde hair at 9 p.m. and convicted by 10 p.m.
Wow.
And the pew-pewer, the little boy said the pew-pewer had black hair. She was caught at 9:00 with blonde hair in the Subway. And Paul came home and told her to dye her hair. And she said it was nothing for her to just go dye her hair at the time, because she really didn't, she didn't know. She was going to a hotel with him because their internet was out. So she was headed to Kentucky with him at the time, and he told her to dye her hair because she was getting gray. And so happens he told her to dye her hair the same color of the supposed
Wow.
driver. And by 10 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, I saw the footage. She had blonde hair. At 10 o'clock, she was sitting in the station, and I watched the full
Twisted Fisher
interview.
chick.
I watched the full interrogation. It's like 4 hours long. They sat there, and those police officers said, I know you did it. I know you murdered those people. And she goes, what are you talking about? I was home in the bed.
Wow. And this is in Ohio. Have they tried to contact the Innocence Project or anything?
Yes, and they did not help assist because allegedly the man, Paul, knows too many people and had a heads up to run states.
Okay.
I connected by accident. Could y'all disconnect me, please?
Oh, yes. Thank you for being
I'm
in
so
here.
sorry.
I appreciate
I'm
you.
so sorry.
That's okay.
I dropped the phone and hit the button. Door, call me, please.
Okay.
I will. Yes, she so it's a whole lot of stuff. You can actually pull up her website. She has a lot of detail, and she has pictures of the
Thank you,
report
Terry.
on her website. It's www.freekaragarvin.com.
Thank you
Hold
for
on,
that.
write
I'm
that
going to look into that.
FreeKarenGarvin.com.
Kara, Kara.
KaraGarvin.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And she has a lot of, her mother put together the website, and her mom has like some of the reports. She even has witness statements from the snitches that testified against Kara, admitting that the prosecutors told them that if they didn't testify, they would serve in prison for the rest of their life.
I wholeheartedly believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that.
When I tell you this is a rabbit hole, I have been in this hole and I can get Miss Audrey in connection with you so she could talk to you about it. She has lots of information. It's Kara's mom.
I would love for her to be booked on one of my Saturday night shows. I
Yes.
would love that.
Yes.
She would, she's really good. She, if you can just give me a date, I will text her and see if she could come on here. She will tell her story. She's come into my box and told it. There's so many things. And she's like, as a mother, if my child was in the wrong, I would say my child was in the wrong.
Right.
She's like, there's so many things that she has. I mean, she has a whole bedroom full of documents on this case that they lied. And basically what happened was a corrupt town, and the little boy gave a statement, so they took that as a credible witness.
Wow.
It was sad. It was sad because she's like, we've been fighting all this time to try to free my daughter for something that she didn't do. Because if you watch the interrogation video, that girl was so confused on even why she was there, because she had reported her pew-pew stolen 4 months prior to this incident. And suddenly it comes up in a case and she's convicted. She thought that they had recovered her pew-pew and found the person that stole it. So that's why she came down to the police station. They never told her that she was being interrogated for a murder until she got there, and the police say to her, I know you did it. I knew you were there. She goes, what are you talking about? Like,
Right, because why are you willingly going to go down there and you done did this?
right. She had no idea. They told her, they said, take off your shoes. And she's like, why are you taking my shoes off? Like, why am I here? What's going on? She was crying and just hysterical at the fact of why she was even being interrogated. She said, I thought you brought me down here because you recovered my items I reported stolen. And he was like, the cop was like, no, I knew you pew-pewed those people. You did it.
How old was Kara at the time?
20, I think 22, 23. She's in her 40s now.
Wow.
She's been in there 16 years. And one of the witnesses that testified against Kara later wrote Kara a letter saying, "I'm so sorry that I did this to you. They made me. They told me that if I did not come up with something on the prosecuting stand, then I would be prosecuted myself."
Wow.
And the letter is on the website.
Wow.
Okay, I'm just writing down and taking some notes because I'll go to the website and really study and get to know the facts of this case. Excuse me.
Yes, and if you have, like, if you see the way that these people were pew-pewed, it was kind of just running in a
Thank you,
police
Shirley.
report. In one of the police reports, it stated that that the person kicked the door in, right, from the outside. When I viewed the photo that she sent me of the front door at the crime scene, the door wasn't even kicked in, it was opened. But the police report says otherwise.
Why would they consider that? Why would they say it was kicked in when they know that it wasn't? Or is it some sort of cover up? Did the police try to cover it up somehow too?
Well, allegedly, the man, Paul, works closely with the police to get out of town when a deal is being made.
Oh, so he's an informant for them.
Correct.
Oh.
And he's in prison right now, but he only got convicted of drug charges. He didn't get convicted with the Kara case, but Kara did. And she's serving a life sentence.
Folks, we have 15,000 likes and 237 souls in the room. I changed the goal to 100 roses because I'm trying to battle in this fest party and I need 70 roses. So I just made the goal 100. Anyway, is it life without the possibility of parole?
You know, she put in yes, I think so. She put in appeals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why her appeals was denied so fast within a month.
Gosh.
Oh, wow.
She was denied 3 appeals. So she has no more appeals.
What?
Yep. She was denied appeals on her case. And her mother has been trying to get somebody to look at this and say, look, we've got to open this back up. Because first of all, they did DNA testing. The pew-pew had 3 DNAs on it, but none of them were tested.
Dora, do you see what tan lines added you?
Yes. Yes.
Why not tested?
And then they said that the DNA, there was no testing on that pew-pew. But Miss Audrey has the report where 3 DNAs was found on that pew-pew, and it was found tossed by a bank. And guess what? The person, when they went to the bank to recover the pew-pew, the bank suddenly didn't have no footage of who was there at that time.
Interesting.
This is a whole thing. This is a whole study. This is a whole evening to study all this.
Yes, and it happened in Franklin Furnace, Ohio.
What is it, Franklin?
Furnace, Ohio.
Franklin Furnace.
Yep. And the little boy's mom is actually what you call a scammer on this app. That happened to know and dated the guy that Kara was with.
So how old would the little boy be now?
He's 20, I want to say 23, 24.
Old enough to talk on his own, right?
Yep, but he will not talk because his mother has told him not to speak on the situation. And she has brained him into Kara did it. So he really truly believes that Kara did it, but he gave too much detail. Like he was giving detail such as when he came in to pew pew my papaw, she picked up the reels that was in his pockets and stole all of his medication. How would you see that? Because from where he was sitting was on the couch. There's a bar in between the couch and the kitchen. The grandpa was standing in the kitchen at the kitchen sink, and the grandma and aunt was sitting on the couch. And he gave too many details, such as he was able to catch what she was driving. He was able to know what she was wearing. He said she had spiked boots on, but at the time of Kara's interview, she had Ugg boots on.
Sounds botched from the beginning.
Girl,
Don't it sound messy?
it is bad. It's like, and I've been racking my brain. I've even called places in Ohio to try to help Miss Audrey figure out somebody that will take this case and review it, because they are at this point.
Better
It's
call
like-
Ben Crump.
Right. I was like,
I'm telling you.
are you kidding me with this? Because this lady is, and mind you, if she was convicted of something, tell me, wouldn't you know you did something in a police station when you're being interrogated like that? Wouldn't you know that you committed that? If you truly committed it, wouldn't you be like kind of acting some type of way? No,
First of
she
all,
was
I ain't
calm.
going to no police station. I'm
She
going to be
was-
on the run.
Right. She was calm, cool, collected, and confused. She was like, I'm not understanding what you're talking about. Was I where? She said, I just woke up. I went to the Subway to get a sandwich, and because I had been sleeping all day. She's like, and Paul came in and woke me up and told me to come on, that we were going to Kentucky.
Did they ever find boots like the description in her possession at all?
Nope. Nothing was ever found.
Let me read this. In December 2008, Kara Garvin was involved in a tragic incident in Franklin Furnace, Ohio. Authorities discovered the bodies of Edward Mollett, 46, his wife Juanita, 43, and their daughter Christina, 20, all victims of fatal pew-pew wounds. A 6-year-old boy, the Mollett's grandson, was present during the incident and identified Garvin as the assailant. Garvin, then 29,
29, yep.
had a history of drug use and was acquainted with the Mollett family. She and her boyfriend, Paul Balmer, reportedly purchased prescription medications from Edward Mollett. On the night of the slaughter's, Balmer testified that he drove Garvin to the Mollett's residence and waited in the car while she went inside. He claimed that Garvin returned with a wallet and later dyed her hair black at a motel in Kentucky. Balmer also led authorities to the firearms and clothing he had disposed of after learning of Garvin's arrest.
He disposed, right? He disposed, but he only got rug charges.
In 2010, after a 5-day trial, Garvin was convicted of the slaughterers as well as an aggravated robbery and aggravated burglary. She received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Garvin has consistently maintained her innocence, and her family continues to advocate on her behalf. They argue that the case against her was largely circumstantial and questioned the reliability of the eyewitness testimony. As of now, Garvin remains incarcerated at the Dayton Correctional Institution in Montgomery County, Ohio.
Yep. Yep. He disposed of it, right? But the bank had no footage. And I can send you the photo of the disposal of the pew-pew and the jacket. He threw out a camo jacket. Carol wasn't even wearing a camo jacket. She was wearing leggings and some kind of pants and a shirt when she was interviewed. And her first response was, has anybody called Paul? Does Paul know what's going on?
Is Paul just living his best life right now?
Oh, he's in prison. He gets out this year.
So
There's a petition. There's a petition that we can all sign. A. Griffin said she posted it, but I don't see it.
it may have filtered it out. A Griffin just kind of like put spaces in between words, and then everybody just know that that's not right.
Okay,
They're a
it's
little
being
worse
filtered.
together.
And let me tell you, the little boy was also able to identify a Band-Aid on her neck. Kara never had a Band-Aid, but his mom did. She had a tattoo.
Paul's mom?
No, the little
Whose
boy's mom.
Oh, the little boy's mom.
The daughter of who was 4 houses down and heard nothing.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting because she had a tattoo on her neck and he identified a Band-Aid on a neck to possibly
Now, how
cover
would he
up
see
that
that?
tattoo.
Because it was dark in the home at the time. It was 20.
Oh, there it goes.
It was 20 something degrees outside in the home.
It's at change.org.
www.change.org/P/reverse the wrongful conviction of Kara Garvin.
Yes, I set that up. That's the change.org for Miss Audrey. Miss Audrey does. And she has talked with someone who is trying to help her. So she's been trying to get a lot of cases together for this particular case because she hired numerous investigators. She hired so many people, but they all could not, because guess what? The police station suddenly doesn't have the pew-pew that was used in this incident where the DNA is on those pew-pews, but was never
Well,
tested.
where did that go? Because wouldn't that be in evidence?
It is. It should be, yes, and they should be still able to test it.
Well, she
Right.
said one of the officers took it to his home.
So
Okay.
hold on. Paul Barmer was convicted of the attempted slaughter of Daniel Mullet, a relative of the Mullet family, and is currently serving a 17-year prison sentence. So he got 17 years and she got life.
Yep. She
that
got
just don't
life
even
without
sound right.
possibility of parole, and she is not even, her appeals, they denied them. Mom even wrote and asked if they could move this case to another jurisdiction, and they denied it right away.
To me, that right there is everything we need to know.
It was denied immediately. There was no
Yeah, because why?
Why?
Because why? Yep.
Yep. She could not get it. She could not get it reversed. She couldn't get it moved to another jurisdiction for rehearing or resentencing. Nothing. Because Kara, I'll have her to send the link to you, Steph, where you can watch the full interrogation of Kara. You
Okay.
see that this girl is completely lost. Her first response when they told her she was fixing to be convicted of murder was, does Paul know what's going on? Because has anybody contacted him? What is happening? She wasn't even with Paul at the time. She was home in the bed and he took her car and her phone. She says that to the officer. She said, Paul left in my vehicle a long time ago and I laid down and I've been sleeping up until 8 o'clock, and then I went to Subway to get a sandwich.
So
At the
essentially,
time-
they just chose to believe him over her on the fact that she was with him and she went in and she was the instigator.
Yep.
And they believed him because he was their informant with other things. So he was valuable to them at that time.
Yep. Because he took the stand, but they said her conviction was based off the 6-year-old statement. They put him on the stand and his story changed 3 times
Wow.
on the stand. 3 times.
I'm
it
gonna
was
jump down and
changed.
go sign this petition. I'll be back.
Okay.
There was no proof or evidence that Kara was linked to this case at all.
Why did they deny the appeal so quickly?
That's my question, because isn't it supposed to be a process where they go through and they have to review everything and review the appeals and the possibility of an appeal and why it wants to be appealed? Yeah, it was denied immediately, and she has not, and she's done excellent. Her mom is very open that she did used to be involved in rugs. She did. And Kara's open about that. But her mom said when Kara, even with her rug use back then, Kara would not harm nobody. Kara had a little daughter at the time. Kara has grown up without her mom all this time, that all she gets to do is see her over a FaceTime call. or emails right now. But Kara is in art school in prison. She's doing so many great things. And in prison, they have done so many awful things to her. What they have done, they've stomped on her art, ripped it, threw it away. Everything that she's done, she's very open to, yes, I used to be involved in rugs. And yes, but her mom said with her rug behavior, Kara was still the best person you ever met. She would never, ever, ever harm a soul. She's like Kara's personality, her upbeat, she's wonderful. And she's like, I'm not saying that because she's my daughter. I'm saying that because I know my child. A mother knows.
Right.
And there's so many things in this case that doesn't make sense to me, especially when you see the layout of this case. The little boy at 6 years old, you have to put yourself in a mindset of a 6-year-old. You're sitting on a couch, somebody comes in your home to pew all these people, and you're able to detail it straight down to what she was wearing, her clothing, her everything. He said she had 14 knives wrapped around her waist and 4 pews.
Did they even test the pew for fingerprints or anything?
No, there was 3 DNAs on it. All they told the mother was there was 3 DNAs on the pew and none was tested. And suddenly they don't have the pew. Because mom asked for it. Mom said, I want the pew that was used in this case because I want it investigated. We don't have it.
So they lost it. It's somewhere floating in police evidence, or
Yeah.
do you? So you said earlier, and I'm starting to believe it, some sort of side deal with Paul.
Yep. Because the police in their reports, I'll send you all 4 reports that she sent me. All 4 of them state something different. Every single one of them is something different in this case. It's literally the little boy at the time said this. The little boy said this. He saw a red car where Kara's was tan. He saw this. It was all reported differently. And tell me why that immediately after this happened, a bunch of four-wheelers and stuff started traveling up the hill and coming down the hill. She was not on a four-wheeler. And mind you, the little boy knew where to run. It was 20-something degrees outside. And if you look at the address where this happened, it's sitting up on a hill. There is only one neighbor, and you have to run straight down and around.
Has anybody outside of the family tried to talk to this now adult man?
Oh, yeah, he won't talk. He still says it's her. His mother dated Paul Ballmer.
So that could be some sort of revenge for her.
Yep. And she's 100% still active on drug use. She's on this app. She talks about how with him, well, he's been in a lot of trouble, the boy, even as an adult. But the day that he took the stand, there was so many stories between this child that it just doesn't make sense to me. How was he able to see all this stuff and notice that it was Kara? Because at the time he was interviewed at the hospital, he was sitting on mom's lap in the report, and mom was saying, pay attention to the woman's hair. Pay attention to her hair. Look. Well, the first picture that they put up on the right was Kara's. And that's what he went with.
But you would think a 6-year-old boy would know the difference between a man and a woman.
Correct. And you know what's funny? At the lineup, when they had her photo on the right, she was blonde-headed. He said she was dark-headed when she came in. She had blonde hair, and it was one of her old jail pictures from rug charges that she had had.
Yeah.
Yeah, the child has never had therapy either. So there's never been nothing, but you witnessed your grandma, your grandpa, and your aunt, because she was holding him at the time. And first, one report says he was asleep when it happened. The next report, he's able to give a lot of detail.
So at this point, because all of the appeals have been exhausted, really the only hope would be something like the Innocence Project. What are the rules after all appeals have been exhausted? Is there any other hope? Is it that new evidence has to be brought to light?
Yep, that's exactly what the Innocence Project told Miss Audrey. Is they told her in order for them to assist, new evidence needs to be brought forward, and she has not. She tried to tell them, get the pew. It had 3 DNAs on it that were never tested. So why can't those be tested? Because Kara reported that same pew missing 3 to 4 months prior to the incident. She had made a police report.
So our fight right now is to, if the pew is missing, it can't be tested.
Yep.
What other items do they have that they have admitted to having that could be tested?
They had a jacket. The things that Paul threw out was a camouflage jacket and the pew. That was it.
Okay. So the fight right now would be for them to get the jacket tested.
Yes. And if we still don't know who the person is, there is a lab out of Texas that can do the genealogical family hit, to where it'll ping to a family member that's closest to it to help narrow down who that person could be. And so that's another way that we could do it. Definitely get in contact with the Innocence Project and see if we could go about that way, and they could push the legal documentation to request for new evidence to be tested, in addition to doing the family hit as well.
And that's her. Yep. And you can go to her page and see her pictures with her mom and her daughter. They get to visit. But right now, mom's communication with her is via FaceTime calls in the afternoons. Kara will get in touch, but one of Kara's family members recently passed away, and she's been having a very, very hard time with it. And mom is there as much as she is for Kara. She said, my hope is that I can see my daughter freed from lies that were told, based on so much evidence that is lacking here. And she's like, I'm just a mom that's trying to fight. She's mom even rented the property where this happened to take initial photos and tell me why in some of these photos evidence was moved around. There was stuff all over the place.
That's very strange.
It was all over the place. The person was supposedly just walking in, pew-pewing 3 people, walking back out. But tell me why in the crime scene, the little boy said that the person stole all the rugs that was in the home. But in the photos of the crime scenes, there's rugs everywhere, all over the floor, kitchen sink, everywhere.
Let me read this. Because when I saw that Paul had been convicted of the attempted slaughter of Daniel, so let's talk about that, which was a completely separate incident. In November 2008, Paul Balmer was involved in an incident where he attempted to slaughter Daniel Mullet, a relative of the Mullet family. This event occurred approximately a month before the tragic slaughters of Ed, Juanita, and Christina Mullet in December 2008. He was convicted for that attempted, and that's the sentence that he's about to, that he served and he's about to get out on. So he wasn't convicted at all for those 3, only her. So let's see, testify. He drove Garvin to the Mullets and waited in the car while she went inside. What did he think that she was going to do? What is his story for what she told him she was going to do when he was waiting in the car?
Allegedly, I don't know. I have no idea. He says that he drove her up there and she went in to purchase and come out with
Purchase.
Yeah, purchase.
Okay.
But at the time, she wasn't purchasing anything. She was at home from her statement. She was in bed. He come running in and woke her up.
What did, when he claimed that she returned with the wallet and got in the car with the wallet, did he ask her what had happened? According
Nope.
to him,
Nope.
he's lying.
He never
He's a
asked her
liar.
nothing. Apparently, he drove her to the Subway. No, him and her went to Subway to get a sandwich and drove to Kentucky, across the bridge to Kentucky to a hotel because he told her the internet was out and they needed to stay at a hotel. So she went along with it and she said, I done everything he wanted me to do. She said, when he told me to wake up, he would come in and wake me up and we would leave because he had a head point of somebody calling him and to say, leave town.
Nope. He's a liar. Because he would have a story. He would have something like she got in the car and I was scared to death and I asked her what she done and I was I got scared over. I thought I was going to be next. Called 911. Whatever. He did none of that. Went on with his day like it was just another.
Yeah, he had
Didn't
no
ask
story.
where the wallet come from.
He had no story, nothing. He said she jumped in the car and they drove. And that's it. That was his storyline. And tell me how he saw her with the wallet, but he didn't see her with the pew-pew?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He didn't see her with the pew-pew. And all these 14 knives around her? And spike boots?
Nobody carries 14 knives on their hip. Not unless you're Crocodile Dundee or somebody.
Yeah,
No.
but you mean to tell me that he drove her there for her to purchase rugs and he didn't see a pew-pew and all these knives and spike boots and jackets that she was wearing? You had her with you.
Mm-hmm.
So why wasn't you able to see that? And suddenly, because on her report, when she reported the pew-pew missing, she said somebody broke into her home and stole her weapon that she had. It was her only weapon, and stole a few other things. She called the police immediately and made a police report.
No.
Yeah, he
This
didn't
is-
hear nothing. And I'm sure if you're going into pew-pew 3 people, you're going to hear some shots. You're going to hear something. Come on now. He was sitting in the car. If you look at the trailer where this happened, the driveway is in front of the trailer. It's right there.
Renee says she's not buying it. I don't think anybody in here is. There's no way. MJ says, and didn't hear any pew pew shots and then rush in to find the scene. Ask her when she got in the car.
Right. He didn't rush in to see nothing. He didn't see nothing. He didn't ask her what was going on. He didn't ask her what she did. There was no questions asked. It was dye your hair. We're going to Kentucky.
The little boy, he only remembered spiked boots and dark hair and knives. Did he give any detail then of what he saw happened?
Yeah. He gave full details. He says she walks in. She kicks the door in first. She walks in. Pew Pew's the grandfather standing at the kitchen because he was cooking. He was standing at the kitchen sink. Then the other two was one mom was sitting in a recliner and the aunt was sitting on the couch. So he just walks in, Pew Pew's them. She stole the reels. She stole everything that was in the reel related. And she ran out. But he was able to give too many details about her. If it's dark, it was dark in that home. They only had one light pole and it was barely dim. So the house was dark. All the lights were off in the house at the time. And he's standing at the kitchen, and it's 20 something degrees outside in the middle of winter at 6:30 p.m. 6:30, somewhere around that time in the evening.
Wow.
And you tell me that this kid saw all this? But one report says that he was asleep at the time of the schmurders. Next report says he was playing a video game or a game. The next one says that he was sitting on the couch. So how could he be doing all three things and able to give that much detail?
Right.
If he was asleep, where would he been asleep at? Because it all happened in the living room and kitchen. As soon as you walked through the door, it was a small trailer. It was a 2-bedroom. So, and the bedrooms are further back in this trailer than at the top when you first walk in.
Yeah.
He was in the living room with the aunt and ran out the door at the time.
Yeah, like Eve says, it doesn't make any sense. It's I'm going to definitely look into this, and I'm going to put, obviously all of my lives, or most of them, goes on the Big YT, but I'm also going to pull this audio and I'm going to make it a podcast, and I'm going to put it on the podcast because this story deserves to be out there. 16 years ago, we didn't necessarily have as much, like we didn't have a TikTok. And so TikTok is powerful in the way that it might reach the right person, like somebody, maybe they work at the Innocence Project, and maybe they say, you know what, you're right. Or the detectives go, you know what, that's right. And somebody else decides to pick it up.
Yes. And that's the only thing that mom is hoping for. She has been hoping for this because she's like, I have no hope. I feel like giving up. Nobody wants my voice heard. I've been down to investigators' office. I've hired FBIs. I've hired private investigators. I've hired so many people to help me understand how you can convict somebody without evidence. Only thing she was convicted on was based on the 6-year-old statement. That's it. So how can you convict somebody that you don't physically have evidence for?
Right. AJ says reasonable doubt. The jury had to find something beyond a reasonable doubt, and then
she was on the show. You can watch the show. She was on the show. Mom was on Reasonable Doubt, and they basically told her she was so upset over that. She said they basically gave her hope and told her that they were going to help her fight. And at the end of the show, they told her she needed to focus on her other kids and quit worrying about Kara at this point.
Let me write down. The show is called Reasonable Doubt. Is that like on an app, or is that like a show on TV or on the network?
It's a show on TV. You can watch it on Hulu.
Okay.
It's called, in her episode, I think it's season 4, episode 8. It's called 2DYE4.
Okay, gotcha.
And she talks about her story too. But it's sad. It's really sad. And I have been working with Miss Audrey to try to call around places. I even tried to call the Supreme.
Yeah.
And they basically said we would have to go through Innocence Project, but she's talked to Innocence Project so many times. And all they say is she would have to have new evidence for them to, but why can't
the new evidence is waiting in a police storage unit. You got to have help to go get the evidence.
Yes, it's sitting there. So why has that not been tested to see whose hands was diddling and what? Because if you have 3 DNAs, that tells me Kara's going to be one of them, because Kara is the owner of that pew. Who's the other 2? And what dates come back to that? Why wasn't that questioned?
Folks, we
telling you.
have 20,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 30,000. You know what to do. You got love on the screen. We have 243 souls in the room. A. Griffin says it probably can't be tested now. Well, it's been only 16 years. I would say try. You know, in the John Benet
If you
Ramsey
don't
case,
know
they were talking
how
about
this
not
works.
being able to do the DNA on the evidence that's left. That's one of their excuses, is because they say if we do the DNA test, it'll probably, you know, fall apart, the object. Okay. I say if it disintegrates in front of you, you're doing a great job as long as you got some DNA, or you at least tried. Otherwise, it's no good anyway. Go ahead, Kristen.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was we don't know how it was preserved. Now, let's say this is 2024. Let's do the math real quick. Because of the fact that in the early 2000s, we were doing a better job at preserving stuff. So 2024 subtract 15, that's 2009. We have very good preserving stuff and preserving methods in 2009. So don't think that it's not possible. Now, if it was in the 80s, I would say possibly. But honestly, I would say let's give it a shot.
Dion, oh, by the way, Dion, I did see your message about not getting an invoice. Don't worry, I'm going to be getting caught up on that today.
I'm finishing up my prisoner letters today.
Innocent Project got a family member out of that, spent 26 years for murder with new DNA technology. Got one of your family members out?
In this case, that they needed new evidence. There's so much evidence there. You look at the police reports and know that the story changes every 5 minutes on each report. You know, the door was kicked in. Why was the door not tested? Why was the doorknob not tested? Because allegedly she opened the door. So why was her fingerprints not tested with the door?
Exactly.
Why was her hands were all over stuff in that home? Why was none of it tested? Why was the jacket not tested? Why was the pew not tested? Why was so many things not tested that night? Why was the door handle on the driver's seat not tested in her car? Why was the passenger seat not tested? None of that was tested.
An average of 3,000 people have been exonerated for their guilty sentences when they have not been guilty since the 1980s. I think it's time for 3001.
Yep. Sadly, you know, and it's like, that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, because I know that with the help of everybody, hopefully we can get it out there for somebody to say, hold on a minute.
Norma Jean, you're talking about the Katie Ferguson case. Nobody knows where the seat is. It's gone. He took it out. It's somewhere in Wyoming. Deb says reasonable doubt to die for season 4, episode 8.
That's the season about Kara. Yes. It's season 4, episode 8.
We have 25,000 likes. Yeah, around Cody, Wyoming. A Griffin, that's right. Never found. Lord, this breaks my heart. And that girl, her daughters had to grow up without her mom, other than seeing her on FaceTime. Good morning, crazy mom. Thank you guys for being in here. We have 407 subscribers. I would love to give away something right now in exchange for someone sending out 5 subscriptions. 5
That right there, Steph, is the witness statement.
subscription. Oh, let's open that up. Karen Hazel, to start this off, I'm so sorry for what I did. I regretted it every day since it happened. Do you think ever in life you could find it in your heart to forgive me? And to let you know, I don't deserve your forgiveness. I don't blame you if you don't write me back, Kara. I'm glad to hear you're okay. I'm okay that I have thought about you a lot. Let you know I tried to unalive myself after that happened. I ate a lot of something. Y'all can read that. I was on life support. It was bad. I wish I wouldn't have woke up. I'm
A piece of shit.
okay. It's hard now because of the chat and all.
This was the lady that apologized for testifying
you.
because she was told she had to.
That yes, I will sign that statement. Just so you know, I will do whatever. So she's saying that she would sign a statement saying that she lied?
Yep. She was made to lie. Prosecutors told her that if she did not, she would be in prison. And she currently is in prison right now. And she was apologizing for testifying against her. And this is another one. This is one of the reports, the police reports. It's on the website.
Oops.
You can see the police report right there. It gives all details of the little boy's statement, then it changes. It's on the website under all statements. So when you go look at it, you'll see some of the witness to Kara in prison for testifying against her because they were made to.
Deb says, especially when Jaylyn was on here last night and all gooey about her new boyfriend that works some barge.
Yeah, Jaylyn is the mom of the little boy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Yep. Is the mom of the little boy who dated Paul Balmer at one point. And knew Kara and speaks very badly on this app about Kara. Who happened to have dark hair at the time. Black hair.
When was her last appeal?
I think it was in, I don't want to quote me right. I'll ask Miss Audrey. I think it was 2020. I think she said she might have one federal appeal.
They need to put a federal appellate attorney on that ASAP.
Yep. It's absolutely insane to me. Everybody in that area that doesn't want to help this mother or hear her or even listen to her. Mm-hmm. You know, I've had wonderful conversation with her, and she's told me, she said, you know, if it wasn't for my grandchildren and Kara, I would give up. I would give up because I've fought so long that I feel like I don't have a fight in me because nobody wants to hear me. Mm. Nobody wants to understand the lack of evidence in this case.
What is the mother of Kara? What is her name?
Audrey. Miss Audrey.
Okay.
And she's on here under Free Kara Garvin. Let me actually see if I can share this to her. Hold on.
Or send me a DM, and I want to follow up on that.
Mm-hmm. Let me get...
Because I think I got you on my follow list.
She's under Kara Garvin's mom. I just shared it to her.
Okay, awesome.
All right, thank you.
I'd love to
Thank you.
follow up with that.
Yes, yes. Let me do this quick giveaway before the show ends today. For the first person to send 5 subscriptions, I'm going to send you a cup. The first person, I wanted to send out a cup. I wanted to give away a cup. The first person to send out 5 subscriptions gets this 40-ounce cup. I will mail it to you. You'll just have to pay the $5 toward the shipping. I'm sure it'll be more, but just pay the $5 and the renewal of. Gifting 5 subscriptions, and you'll get this 40-ounce cup with my big old face on it. Who don't want that? Psh.
We want that.
Just throwing that out there for you. I don't want to go under 400. I think that's amazing. It's probably something I'll never see again in my life. So let's make it last a little longer. And in exchange, I'll give you something spectacular.
I can work on that. I get paid on Friday.
Okay. Oh, who done it? Somebody done it. Oh, no, I missed it. Somebody tell me who sent the 5 subscriptions. CJ, you got a subscription. Cassandra, Lori, Leah, Jack, all subscribers now. Who done it?
Renee.
I have to throw my printer out the window. This printer keeps being the bane of my existence.
Renee, I still have your other package too. I think it's got the label on it. Maybe I can combine them. Renee, thank you. I'll void your label and then put those together. Thank you, Renee. Renee. Who done it? Somebody else sent 5. Somebody else done that. Oh my gosh. Hold on a minute. Lizzie subscribed. Robin subscribed. Pretty in Pink. Bun. Angela, Terry, Misty, Eileen. Oh my gosh.
It was Leslie.
It was who?
It was Leslie that sent them.
Leslie, Ohio girl, sent those 5.
There's more.
There's
10.
more. I'm so what is happening right now? I got plenty of cups.
They sent 10 subscriptions.
Pay the $80 fee to send 20. I need to know because I'm the only one that did it before.
Who? Y'all help me, okay? Because this is going so fast. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Holy camole. Oh my gosh. Who all sent them? Renee, Leslie, Ohio girl. Who else? Who sent 5 or more? Who sent 5 or more? I have two people wrote down. I don't want to miss you. 5 or more. Leslie, Ohio girl, and Renee. Okay, I just want to make sure I don't miss you because I want to send you a cup too, okay? Renee gets a cup. Leslie, Ohio girl, gets a cup. I feel like Oprah. You get a cup and let's take a look. Wishes and thank you for extending to a 3-month. Look at you in your shirt, Miss Ross.
I got my keychain on my
Oh, awesome.
I'm so
You make me wanna
excited.
Miss Ross. That's amazing. I'm so glad.
I love it. Thank you. I had 2 of these stickers, but my daughter stole one. I got my daughter hooked on you now too.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for wearing my shirt. I'm so glad to be a part of your day with you.
Yes, I love it. I'm gonna order another one. My daughter wants one now too, so I gotta get her one.
Okay.
But I just wanted to show you my shirt.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. El Cousin is letting us know that Ashley Benfield, husband, is on the stand. We're talking about Ashley Benfield. Are you talking about the black swan? The black swan? I think that's who you're talking about.
The husband. The brother spoke a great deal. And I'm going to tell you what, not that the judge was interesting, but the brother, it highlighted the fact that he invented a whole bunch of stuff for the military. He was super, super smart.
Mm-hmm.
And, he highlighted the fact that Doug was not only a Texas Aggie, which, by the way, that's a whole cult within itself, and the fact that he was a naval officer, and it's the fact of also this whole world is going to be missing a great man. And this girl did not shed a tear at all. Not one.
Thank you, Dora.
And then I think it was because I got distracted by doing something else. Last I had watched, the defense attorney said, look, there was a lot of domestic violence on this case. We need to talk to some other people in regard to the victim impact statements, because, his family is going to fight valiantly. Valiantly would help if I stop getting my words mixed up. And, and they needed a different perspective. So I need to go rewatch where her folk and her supporters, because she had one advocate girl come and speak on her behalf. That part I am aware of. So it's and I'll be honest with you folks, there's so many interesting cases, it's hard to keep up with them all. It really is. So if you got a case that you want me to follow, drop me a ping, send me a message, let me know, and I'll follow it.
Yeah. Thank you, Dee. Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate that. Kristen, did you watch the suitcase lady's apology letter to she's sorry that everyone done her wrong letter after her sentencing yesterday?
No.
Sarah Boone. What is her name?
Susan Boone. Excuse me. Sarah Boone.
Sarah Boone, yeah.
Sarah Boone is her name. And that girl is just unhinged. And that's just putting it lightly. And
Thank you, Dee. DK subscribed. Thank you, and welcome to the SCF family.
woot woot.
Well, she got up on the stand or to do her statement, and she was like, I'm sorry that he abused me. I'm sorry that he made me quit my job. I'm sorry that he done this to me.
That's a sorry, not sorry.
It was really something. I've never seen anything like that before.
Well, she's got life in prison now, so she ain't getting out. And somebody in the Discord had said something about writing a letter to her, and I was like, okay, fine. I'm already doing it anyway. We already got safe systems set up. Might as well put her through me, and then that way I can read the letter.
Yeah. By the way, all of you new subscribers, you have access to the Discord. If you can't find it or you need the link, just message me. I'll send you the invite link. Come over to Discord. They chat throughout the day, and I try to pop in a few times a day and check in with everybody. And that's just kind of our little chat area. Cajun says how she spoke so bad on his family was crazy. I know. And totally blamed them for they knew what he was doing and this and that. It's the most narcissistic moment in time I have ever heard, to specifically take the life of somebody and then use your statement to apologize to them and the world for your actions, to take it to let everybody know what people done to you. I've never seen it before. Laura Spryer, missing from Bloomington, Indiana. Send me a message, Mama 23. All right, friends. Well, it's that time of day. Congratulations to Renee and Leslie, girl. Make sure you all go pay the $5 for shipping. Renee, I'll combine your orders and I'll refund you if there's any difference in shipping. And then I'll get you cups out. I do have cups. I have a million trillion more cups in the basement. I just got to get them out and get the stickers on. So plenty of chances for people to win a cup. Also subscribers, that is right. Rich Russell's let everybody know you get a discount code to buy the shirts and the merch, a 60% off discount code that you can use on the website at scfmerch.com. You can find that code in a video in the subscribers only section, or you can send me a message and I will give you the code. Okay. We never know what's going to happen with me. I may be live at midnight. I may not. It just depends on what makes me mad. Or what I feel like I have to say. So maybe I'll see you tonight, or maybe I'll see you tomorrow morning. For sure. Wait a minute. Tomorrow's live is postponed for later in the day because I have an 11:15 a.m. appointment that I must keep. So tomorrow's live will not be at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be more like 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make a note of that. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the time we're shooting for tomorrow's live, because I have a morning appointment that I must keep. Okay.
Okay. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you. I love each and every one of you very much. You know that you're making my dreams come true. You can find me on any social media platform. All you have to do is look for the same username and logo. I am on YouTube mostly and mainly. Please go follow me there. I'm also on Bookface, Instagram, and every social media platform you can possibly think of. Wherever you are, there I am too. I'll see you another time. Bye.